so please be patient with me. I don't know if it works or not. Also, I'm wearing this top that makes my shoulders look absolutely huge. Maybe that was a wrong choice for filming, but it's okay. Anyways, so today I'm going to be talking about books that I've read, or that I'm currently reading, or that I want to read. And I've decided to combine it with a mini haul because I only bought 2 books recently and I didn't feel like filming a separate video about them because I would have to talk about one book for 10 minutes just so we could have at least a 20-minute long video, and I didn't feel like doing that. So let's start with that and then we'll move on to the other books that I'm currently reading. Alright, so I think I'll start with this book first, and this is the Korean edition of The Little Prince. The Little Prince by, I don't know if I'm going to say the name right, Antoine's. You know what, let's just not. And I love this story so much. It's one of my favorite books of all time. And actually, when I was graduating high school, which it's how long ago? 8 years, I think. Oh my god. 8 years ago. You have to take this big exam, and you basically get one book that you have to talk about, and talk about the different themes and motives and explain what the author meant. And I remember I got The Little Prince, which I was so happy about because I've read it, maybe I've read it more than once, and it's just, the story is very precious to my heart. So I got this edition when I was in Seoul, and that's because it's hard to get Korean books otherwise, unless you're in Korea. And I cannot read it yet. My level is not that high. However, it will work like a little motivation for me to get to that level eventually. Because I remember with English too, you know, at some point I wanted to read books in English and it was so difficult at first. But then it got easier and easier and easier and easier, and I think I started reading books in English when I was in high school, so it's been a while. And now it's easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So I'll get there, you know, I'll get there. Of course it's tough to learn a completely new language. I know that. And it takes a lot of time, but I feel motivated to do so regardless. Especially these days, I feel like I got so much better. There's illustrations here too. I love The Little Prince, and it's been a while since I've read it. I also have the Czech edition. Maybe we can do a reading of the Czech edition on my channel. Would you like that? I don't know if you like listening to foreign languages. In ASMR, maybe if you do, we could do that with subtitles. But yeah, The Little Prince. What I find really interesting, and I've just noticed this, okay? Everything is in Korean except the names of the chapters. Why is it in English? What? Do you see that? Actually, it says chapter 8 in English. That confused me for read you at least the text in English, because that's easier for me than Korean. "It is a question of discipline," the little prince said to me later on. "When you finished your own toilet in the morning, then it is time to attend to the toilet of your planet. Just so, with the greatest care. You must see to it that you pull up regularly all the baobabs. At the very first moment, when they can be distinguished from the rose bushes which they resemble so closely in their earliest youth. It is a very tedious work," the little prince added, "but very easy." Okay, the second book that I got is Please Look After Mom by Kyung-Suk-shin. This is the English edition. I also got this when I was in Seoul, and I don't know much about the story. There were some people screaming outside. Anyways, I just know that it was recommended, I think, by V from BTS. I might be wrong, because it's been years ago since I've read that recommendation. Anyways, and you can correct me in the comments if you want to. And I'll read you the back, okay? When 69-year-old Sonia is separated from her husband among the crowds in a Seoul subway station, her family begins a desperate search to find her. Yet, as long-held secrets and private sorrows begin to reveal themselves, they are forced to wonder, how well did they actually know the woman they called Mom? Told through the piercing voices and urgent perspectives of a daughter, son, husband, and mother, Please Look After Mom is at once an authentic picture of contemporary life in Korea and a universal story of family love. Do you hear the birds? Is that a pigeon outside? I don't know. You'll never think of your mother the same way after you read this book. Interesting. You know, I like the premise, and also it's very true to life. Like, sometimes you feel like you know a person, but deep down you don't. And I feel like I'm somebody that, you know, this is what my friend told me. Like, we've been friends for maybe 13 years, and she was like, even after 13 years, you can still surprise me. Like, I'm somebody that just doesn't reveal everything to everyone at all times, and so I feel like people around me know me in like different ways, but maybe that's normal. I feel like that's pretty normal, right? But yeah, I feel like I still, like, even if you've, maybe, how long have been friends actually? Wait a minute. More than 15 years now, but she said it to me like 3 years ago. Yeah, even if you've known me for 15 years, I can still surprise you sometimes. Anyways, I don't know where I was going with this, but let me show you the only story, the only book that I've read this year. I know, it's embarrassing. It's because I have been in such a reading slump that I can't focus on reading, and I've started like 20 books and I didn't finish any of them, but I did finish one story. Give me a second. And that is The Little Mermaid. Just the story of The Little Mermaid. The movie came out recently. I haven't seen it. And that's because I have no one to go to the cinema with. And I didn't feel like going alone. So, anyways, if you are a regular viewer of my channel, you know that The Little Mermaid, the original version by she sacrificed so much and she didn't get what she wanted. But then now, as I got older, the way I see it is that if she tries hard enough, she will eventually get a soul, which is something that she deep down always wanted much more than the prince. And so I've actually changed my opinion quite recently about it when I was reading it again and again and again, and I've realized, like, even though it's a sad story, it actually kind of has a good ending in a way, much better than if the mermaid got the prince, the prince that wasn't even worth it in the end, So I'm maybe talking too much about it, but I just truly love the story. And even after, reading it many times, I've changed my opinion on it a little bit. I still love it though. So this is the Minalima edition with the illustrations. And I love the illustrations so much. It's even interactive. Oh, okay, there you go. I think I did a flip through of the book on my Patreon at some point last year. Yeah. Gosh. Yeah, oh, this is a different story. Oh, but I love the fairy tales of Hans Christian Andersen so much. And when I was buying this edition, I don't know why, I just felt like I would keep it for my children one day, because I feel like my children would speak really good English for some reason. I don't know. Don't question me on that, but I just felt like I should buy it just so I could read it to my kids one day. If I'll have some, which we don't know. Alright, now what I am currently reading. So, for that, I have to go into the app script. I think I still have the link for the 2-month free trial instead of 1 month in my description. I always keep it there. It's like a referral code basically, and I use it so much because it kind of works like Netflix in a way. Like, it doesn't have all titles you can think of, but it has a pretty good selection. So I'm actually currently reading this novel that was translated from Japanese, and it's called The Tunnel to Summer, The Exit of Goodbyes by Hachimoko that's why I started reading it. And also I'm listening to this audiobook by Rebecca Yarros, Fourth Wing, and I've just started it yesterday. So I've seen this book everywhere on my Instagram. Like it just kept popping up again and again and again. I think it's very hyped up. All I know is there are dragons, and if there are dragons, I'm sold. Okay. It has a dragon on the cover too. That's all I needed. And I haven't listened to many audiobooks these days because I tend to listen to either podcasts or music. I find it quite hard to focus on audiobooks for some reason. So hopefully this audiobook will pull me out of that reading slump. And it came out pretty recently, actually. Yeah, it came out in May 2nd. And from what I understood, they're just dragon riders. Yeah, that's it. Very hyped up book. There's not much that I know about it. I just picked it up randomly, really. Like, I just wanted to find an audiobook that I could listen to. I've seen this on Script and I was like, okay, good. Okay, and the final book that I want to finally start, hopefully this year, is Oathbringer by Brandon Sanderson. And this is a third book in the Way of Kings, Stormlight Archive series. I literally have my other channel named after the Stormlight Archive. How could I have messed it up? I don't understand. Anyways, this is a third book in the series. This is part 1. The book has 500 pages, the first part. The second part, 500 pages. But I know that the final book should be coming out this year. And I want to finish the books before it comes out. And then start reading it right away. I've got time until November, so I just want to start, okay? Because I've been putting it off because I'm scared that I will not enjoy it, because I am in a reading slump, and for me, I don't know, I have this fear that I just won't like it anymore if I'm in a reading slump. Like, even though it's my favorite series of all time, like the first 2 books were absolutely incredible, so what am I scared of? I don't know. So that's the book that I will start after the Japanese novel, but maybe I'll start it at the same time. Just when I will be in the mood for like physical versus like an ebook. I tend to read one physical book, one ebook, and one audiobook usually, just at the same time. Technically not read the audiobook but listen to the audiobook, but you get what I mean, right? So right. And yeah, I think that will be it for today's video. It's been a while since I talked about books like this, but I want to make more videos about books in the future. Hopefully I will be more motivated to read. It's just that this year my mind has been scattered and all over the place, and I've been sleeping for the last month like 5 hours max,